We believed we comprehended the universe. We believed that space expansion was finished according to science. However, we were wrong. Utilizing the James Webb Space Telescope in conjunction with Hubble, the most disturbing confirmation in the history of contemporary astronomy has just been provided. The cosmos does not act the way we thought it should. Decades of cosmological theory are falling apart. Measurements of the past constant are currently in direct contradiction. Even more concerning, there may be an unidentified force in the universe, altering the principles of physics themselves. This is not simply a crisis in theory. This is a complete collapse of our comprehension of time, space, and possibly the truth itself. It all began as an ambitious concept. Combine the near-infrared power of the James Webb Telescope with the visible light precision of Hubble. The outcome was a clearer, more in-depth look at the early universe than ever before. What, then, did the astronomers discover? It was not beauty, it was contradiction. They discovered a massive galaxy, ZFG 7329. It's so big and so old it should not even exist, according to current models of the cosmos. The early universe lacked sufficient matter or time to form such a structure. This was merely the beginning. More galaxies emerged, as well as black holes, enormous for their age. Then came the most devastating data point. The universe is expanding at various speeds that change based on where you look. For years, astronomers used the Hubble constant to calculate how fast the universe is growing. But now, James Webb and Hubble have produced completely unrelated results based on direct observations of variable stars and formations in distant galaxies. Adam Rees, Nobel Prize winner and lead researcher, declared, "If there are no errors in measurement, the only remaining explanation is that we have fundamentally misunderstood the universe." This mismatch isn't a small discrepancy. The gap is one that destroys the foundations of the Big Bang's expansion scheme. Some refer to it as tension. Others now call it what it truly is, a crisis, just as the scientific community was reeling. Astrophysicist Rajendra Gupta made a bold assertion. The universe isn't 13.7 billion years old. It's close to 27 billion. Gupta claims that we have misinterpreted the nature of space itself. He argues that light doesn't just stretch, it hides information. What we have interpreted as dark energy and dark matter may not exist at all. His model eliminates the need for enigmatic cosmic forces and instead suggests that our very concept of the vacuum is wrong. If true, this would imply that everything, from Einstein's general relativity to quantum field theory, needs rewriting. Now, other physicists propose something even stranger, that our universe is impacted by something that isn't there. They suggest that the irregular expansion could be due to gravitational forces from a neighboring universe pulling on ours from beyond the observable boundary. This is not a sci-fi story. It is founded on real-world mathematical simulations and observations made by James Webb and Hubble. Additionally, it would explain why the more we look, the more disorganized the laws of physics appear. The conclusion: we might not be alone in the universe. In fact, dark energy, for many years believed to be the mysterious force tearing apart the universe, was a placeholder, an elegant explanation to patch the rapid expansion observed in deep space galaxies. However, James Webb's data is dismantling that concept. If expansion varies by region, and if the speed with which galaxies form is increasing, dark energy may not exist as expected at all. Instead, something else, something unnoticed, may be affecting the cosmic architecture. The dark energy theory collapses. It means 70% of the universe's known composition is a miscalculation. That's not a correction. That's a cosmic identity crisis. While independent researchers write papers and speak to the press, NASA, ESA, and other space agencies have been atypically quiet. There is no official declaration of the crisis, no retraction of the Lambda CDM model, just carefully worded statements about data complexity and early surprises. Insiders report closed-door meetings among international cosmology councils. One leaked memo supposedly described this occurrence as a paradigm shift, not to be communicated until the risk to the public is assessed. Why the secrecy? Because acknowledging that the universe no longer behaves as expected would change everything, from science funding to philosophy, religion, and geopolitics. Now, some physicists think that these inconsistencies aren't about space. They are about time. Time may not be linear across the universe. In some locations, it's possible that time itself moves at a varying rate, according to the density of matter and energy. Variations or even interactions with different dimensional entities could explain why galaxies farther away appear older than they truly are. As a result, it's possible that they exist in a different temporal framework. If true, this fractures the very concept of a global timetable. This means there was no single event in the Big Bang. This may have been a ripple, and we're just one wave in a larger, more complex, multidimensional storm. One final theory, rarely discussed outside the most cutting-edge study groups, is gaining traction: the cosmic model of phase transitions. This theory suggests that universes undergo shifts in physical laws, much like water turning into ice or transforming into gas. The bizarre data from the Webb and Hubble telescopes could be signs that the universe we inhabit is on the verge of such a shift. These are not bugs. Rather, they are precursors. Furthermore, if the phase shift occurs, whether it takes 1,000 seconds or 1,000 years, the laws of physics could rewire in an instant. Reality, as we know it, would reboot, and nothing like gravity, or even time, would remain unchanged for more than a century. We thought we were piecing it together, measuring the universe's expansion, tracing its beginnings, and codifying its rules in stone. However, the James Webb Space Telescope has revealed a deeper truth. We weren't investigating the universe. We were only seeing what it allowed us to see, okay? Now those illusions are breaking down. The rules we trusted are unraveling. The constants no longer hold true. Time may not be moving forward equally in all directions, and the void between galaxies may not be expanding into nothingness, but rather into something far more complex and significantly more alive. As scientists investigate this unfolding mystery more deeply, one unsettling implication continues to emerge: the very framework by which we interpret the universe may be fundamentally incorrect. Once trusted instruments for clarity are now uncovering chaos. Order was not revealed. The paradox is exposed by precision. Cosmology, once thought to rely on simple and predictable equations, now grapples with variables that defy inclusion in any known formula. The questions raised now stretch beyond science into the realm of philosophy. What does it mean to reside in a reality where there are no fixed rules? Numerous competing models are gaining momentum. Some physicists propose the holographic principle: the notion that our three-dimensional universe is a two-dimensional projection from a boundary at the very edge of the cosmos. Others revisit quantum loop gravity and string theory, examining the most recent data for hints in mathematical frameworks once deemed too speculative. The anomalies may not be erratic. They may represent signatures of a higher level of physics we've only just begun to detect. Artificial intelligence is being used to sift through the terabytes of data from the Webb and Hubble telescopes, searching for patterns no human could detect. Early machine learning analyses suggest a clustering of deviations, with some regions of the galaxy displaying synchronized outliers that point to systemic influences or interference. Perhaps a topology with greater dimensionality. In response, international agencies are considering new mission proposals, including deep space and intergalactic probes and field observatories positioned outside the solar system to reduce local interference. Quantum computing continues to advance, and physicists are probing whether the once thought empty quantum vacuum could In fact, be dynamic a rich source of information through which these disturbances are transmitted. The universe, once thought to be cold and mechanical, may instead be responsive, dynamic, and perhaps aware a thriving cosmos that evolves not only in appearance but in essence. What we thought was dark energy may be no such thing. What we designated as background radiation could be an indication of something else. And the expansion we assumed was random might be the outcome of a force we still don't dare name. We have stopped asking how the universe began. We now want to know if it's still beginning, or worse, if it's about to expire. Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Are we witnessing the destruction of the cosmic order, or the initial evidence of a change that has happened before and will happen again? Subscribe and activate notifications, because even if the universe is rewriting itself, you've just read the first line of a new world.